Welcome to the Den of Tools.
Howdy guys and gals, it's Jeff. Yep, it's Thursday. That means no bear today, but I have a quick announcement here. We wanted to go through some of the new items from Harbor Freights because they dropped it. It's the number one thing that people have been asking for is when are they going to come back out with the ProTig? They had one at or near launch with the Vulcan line, and then for some reason it went away. And I honestly don't know why. They won't tell me. I haven't gotten a straight answer on it. I don't know. It went away, but it's back. And you can see it right there. So it's what we got here is we got the ProTig 205 industrial welder with 120 to 240 volt inputs. You got dual inputs on this. It's $9.99. Now that's a launch price on that, so I don't know what else to tell you about it. Taking a look at this here, we got advanced features with the big brain symbol there. Outstanding TIG aluminum performance, so you can do aluminum with this with balance and frequency control. And then maximum versatility, TIG and stick from the same power source includes the Vulcan 150 amp 12.5 foot TIG torch with 50 millimeter DIN SE style connector. Vulcan 205 stick electrode holder. So you're getting both the TIG torch and the stick holder with a 10-foot cable. And let's see, we got the foot pedal with 25-foot cord. Flow gauge regulator with 6 foot of gas, hose that is. 10-foot power cord for 240, 10-foot power cord for 120. Work clamp with 10-foot cable, and let's see here what else we got. We got a duty cycle. Now this is important. This is how long it can run versus letting off and letting it basically cool down is essentially what it is. We got a duty cycle at 130 amps of 25%. And a duty cycle at 205 amps of 25%. So you got a 25% duty cycle regardless of which way you're running it. Again, it's got the dual voltage. Let's go through here and take a look at this. All the stuff we talked about before. A nice simple interface up front. Good solid handles. One thing I love about the Vulcan that they don't do on the Chicago Electric, and I wish they did on the Titanium, but they don't, is they make the power cord there where you can unplug it from the back, because with the solid amount of power cords, if you have a problem, if it accidentally gets cut or sheared or run over or something, it's going to be a pain and you know what to get that replaced. On this, you just unplug it. You can coil it up when you need to move it or do what else. You got the gas input and you got the reset there on the back as well as a big fan intake. Enough about that. I know you guys are like, we're bored. We're not welders. How about a new Keychain Light? This looks like the little brother to the typically free, the ultra bright LED. Well, he's got a little baby brother now, for $1. Nice little carabiner and stuff. I haven't seen one of these, in hand, so I can't really say what it's like, but at $1, I might give it a shot. We got the Bauer 20 volt Hypermax. This is a cordless buffer. All right, I know a lot of you are seeing this going, we've seen this buffer before. They've had this buffer out. Nope, not this one. This is the Bauer 20 volt Hypermax buffer with random orbits there. So we got that curved handles, compact weight, blah, blah, blah. Up to 2 hours of runtime per charge. I'm guessing you're running it fairly slow if you're doing that. 300 orbits per minute for a swirl-free finish. Get you a little tour there around it. Looks very similar to the other orbital buffer they've had like this, but not, obviously not cordless. We've got, we talked through product height is 8 3/8. Product weight is 4.44. Ship weight's 5.65 pounds. Pad dimension, it's taking a 10-inch pad. Next up, we've talked about this, but it's in the catalog, which means it's also showing up in stores either now or soon. And that's the case with all of these. Some stores are probably going to have it this week, if not probably next week. We're looking at the Earthquake XT 20 volt max lithium ion cordless grease gun tool only. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we talked about this coming out before. We got a price point here, $180 essentially, but also they have the locking grease couplers, which if you've ever dealt with doing your own grease, it's a pain trying to hold it on while doing these locking couplers. I've not used them from Harbor Freight. I've used the third-party ones before. They make all this stuff a lot easier to deal with. And for 20 bucks there, again, that's pre-coupon. Also, real quick, while you're here, Doyle Tools, yeah, we get all the merch and everything else, but I just want to remind everyone that I've made my book, The Home Distiller's Workbook, Your Guide to Beer, and The Home Distiller's Workbook, How to Make Moonshine, Whiskey, Vodka, Rum, and so much more. I've made them both $1 because I know people are stuck at home, they're bored, want something to do. Learn how to make some beer, learn how to make some whiskey. Making beer is legal in the U.S. This one, not so much. So that's it for information. That's for entertainment purposes only. All right, Jacks. Somehow I skipped over this one before. I don't know how I missed it. I looked at it. I figured, oh, it's just I don't know why they have the red 2-ton. Or the red Pittsburgh Series 2. We've seen this before, right? No, we haven't. That's a 2-ton jack. A 2-ton rapid pump low profile jack. This is like this is the Ford Ranger to the Ford F-150. All right, if the Pittsburgh Pro or the Pittsburgh the old gray now red Series 2 is your typical Ford F-150. This is the Ford Ranger to that, and this is for you guys who've got one of those cheap trolley I can't talk today. Cheap trolley jacks. And you've been wanting to step up. I was trying to see if there was one linked here. If you're trying to step up to something like a quote unquote real, floor jack, this is, but you're not going to lift anything really heavy or like big trucks or stuff like that. And you want that kind of performance around the shop. This is your chance. Now the price on this is kind of high. It's right up there with the rest of them. And you're like, well, why? Well, I got a little bit of more knowledge about this now. And what I'm expecting to see is some serious coupons on this soon. All right. So this is going to come down in price because no one's going to pay $100 when they can buy the Pittsburgh, 3-ton low profile for that much. Right. I mean, that's what I have. I love that jack. It's a great jack. But, when this comes down, if I see this at between like, say, under 75, maybe even under 70, that's where this becomes a buy. It's also, and the weight on it, it's much lighter. It's like 50 pounds. My jack is like close to 90 pounds. I've been telling them, hey guys, those aluminum floor jacks, they get the little handle there on the side. I'd love to see that on some of these other jacks because these floor jacks, there's nowhere to grab it and not risk it taking a piece of your finger off. So I'd love to see that. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen. Speaking of taking fingers off, if you do need... All right, let me back up. Speaking of end nippers, Doyle now has 14-inch end nippers, $19.99. These things are got some. If you're looking for something that's some serious bite, they're going to get some serious bite. Look at that. Oh, you could put a hurt on something with that. Hopefully it's inanimate is all I'm going to say. I've got a bunch of stuff I picked up from Doyle. I like all of it. I think it's excellent. Oh wait, let me go back because there's also a 10-inch version of this for $15.99. So you get the 14-inch there for $20. You got the 10-inch for $16. I don't see any coupons on it, but remember you can use super coupons on the Doyle brand. A lot of people think because it's the higher end hand tool brand that you can't, but you can. And that's definitely a great way to save 25% on that. Also, Doyle 6-in-1 ratcheting multi-bit stubby screwdriver. As you know, I've been kind of down on ratcheting screwdrivers. I have been shown some ones that I actually rather like quite a bit. The one I picked up recently, I use all the time is this little one right here. I use this a ton. It's my little go-to one on my desk. It never leaves my desk. And then the one I can spin around and grab super quick. This is if I need something a little bit beefier, I go with this one. This has got the sweet little roller lock in it. Let me see if can you hear that? You can't hear it. It's silent. There's no ratchet in that. It has a ratcheting action, but it doesn't actually ratchet. I love it. But for stubby, I can definitely see a use case argument for a stubby ratcheting screwdriver. So we'll have to see how it goes. Maddox radiator pressure let's back that one up. Maddox radiator pressure test kit. Yeah, I can talk today. $119.99. So if you've been looking for that, you've been waiting for the upgrade to the Pittsburgh stuff, there you go. And then also, I know you've been waiting. I know all of you have been waiting. Just slow your roll. We have the 3M full brim ratcheting type 1 hard hat. 3M hard hats are engineered to provide comfort, protection, balance, stability to help and keep DIYers and professionals safe. Okay. Anyway, looking very stylish in his personal protection equipment. Look at that. And this is honestly, I was like, are they just like using 3M name on something like this? Can they do that? No, this is actually 3M. You don't see a lot of non-Harbor Freight owned products. This is an actual 3M product. Okay. And last in the group, we've got One Stop in-ground solar disc lights. So what these are is they got little spikies on them. They're like, think of them as solar caltrops. You just throw them out there. No. All right. You put them down, you give them a little stomp, and they're actually bigger than they look in the picture, aren't they? And they give you some nice uplighting to kind of demarcate a path. All right. In my experience, stuff like this does not last like all through the night. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If you've played around with stuff like this and it has, but what I found is it usually lasts a few hours after dusk. It gives you just enough light. Now with LED though, those lights do last a lot longer than they used to. But what they're really there is, as I said, they're to demarcate a path, not so much as to give you full. They're not street lights. They're just basically to show you where you're going, and for that they do a good job of that. Anyway, this is just real quick. I saw the ProTig here, and I'm like, you guys have been waiting for this. You've been begging for it. I had to jump on here and let you know. I got some other stuff coming up. We've got some hands-on reviews. We're washing the cars. We got not one, but 2 pressure washers. I got some Circ-Saw reviews we've been doing. And what else? Oh, and we got a build coming up where we're going to be using the whatchamacallit, the Harbor Freight, the super cheap drill press that everyone complains about, and showing you how to make it run as best as it can, and proving how accurate it can be by doing a little bit of a build with it. So, anyway, stay tuned, stay safe, God bless, and as always, shine on.